Hi there folks, and welcome back to another One-Stop Trivia Big Sunday quiz. My name's Sean, I'll be your host as usual. Hope you're still enjoying all the quizzes we're putting out, and hope you're still enjoying the new format of the layouts here. This was suggested by one of our viewers, so we thought we'd give it a go. If you have any comments or any feedback, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or drop me a message. We're always welcome to any feedback that you have. So we'll get started. If I sound a little tired, it's the morning after I recorded this for the first time, so hopefully everything goes smoothly this time round. Okay, so let's get going. So my usual little spiel here. So this is a free quiz, but if you find that you've got any spare money, or maybe an extra £1 or $1 due to not travelling due to lockdown, or not going to the pub or socialising, anything like that, please consider just a small donation to charity. I raise money for the Alcal Foundation here in Phnom Penh, provides the only free primary school in the city. All the other schools are fee paying of some kind, and a lot of people just can't afford to send their children to school. The school is provided by the charity, provides everything for the children that it can, up to and including school uniforms. It's obviously a very good cause. If you're able to make any kind of donation, it's very much appreciated, and you can do so at kidsneededucation.org. Okay, if there's any other charity that you want to make a donation to that you feel is worthwhile, go for it, go nuts. Okay, so that's you'll see the Kids Need Education URL at the top left all throughout the quiz, just in case you forget. The other URL you'll see there is onestoptrivia.com, so that's the website for One Stop Trivia. You'll find all of our old quizzes there, the big quizzes like this, and the short rounds that we put out 2 or 3 times a week. Check it out. You'll also find we've got some mobile apps. We've got some Kindle books available there of trivia. If you want to keep going after the quiz is finished, check out the trivia. They are also available free on Kindle Owners Lending Library if you have Amazon Prime. Okay, we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/onestoptrivia, and on YouTube. If you just search for One Stop Trivia, we don't have a personalised URL yet, hopefully soon. Okay, so a couple of things. Please don't post any answers into the comments section of the video, that might spoil it for other people. And there's no point cheating because it's just for fun. Play at home on your pen and paper, play against your friends if you want, do it for bragging rights. Okay, and if you enjoy the video, please give us a like, give the channel a subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, give us a share, give us a comment with your score, let us know how you did. Okay, so we'll get on with the quiz in just a second. Just to let you know, it's a standard format for my quiz, 10 rounds, 6 questions per round, multiple different categories, so we've got questions, pictures, music, all sorts, okay? So we'll do the questions and answers for each round as we go. So just keep a tally of your scores as you go. Okay, so let's move on. Round number 1, as usual, is general knowledge. Okay, so question number 1. Tom Cruise is a notable proponent of which modern religious movement, the church of which was founded by L. Ron Hubbard in 1952? Okay, so Tom Cruise is a notable proponent of which modern religious movement, the church of which was founded by L. Ron Hubbard in 1952? Okay, let's move on. Question number 2. What were the 2 sister ships of the RMS Titanic? And obviously Titanic is the very famous one for obvious reasons. But there were 3 ships made at the same time. So RMS Titanic, and what were the other 2 that were its sister ships? Okay, so 2 points available for that one. 1 point for each that you get right. Okay, question number 3. The 5 largest of which type of event have occurred, in reverse order, in Chile, Alaska, Indonesia, Japan, and Eastern Siberia? Okay, so again, the 5 largest of which type of event have occurred in reverse order in Chile, Alaska, Indonesia, Japan, and eastern Siberia? Okay, number 4. Which French designer is well known for popularising the little black dress during the early 20th century? So I know that's certainly what I wear when I go out on a Friday night. Okay, so which French designer is well known for popularising the little black dress during the early 20th century? There we go. Okay, question number 5. Followers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are more commonly known by what name? Okay, followers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are more commonly known by what name? And question number 6. Which 1954 novel by William Golding focuses around a group of British schoolchildren attempting to govern themselves after they find themselves stranded on a tropical island? Okay, so 1954 novel by William Golding, a group of British schoolchildren who are attempting to govern themselves after they find themselves stranded on a tropical island. What's the book or the novel? Okay, so quick recap, and then we'll go on to the answers. So, question number 1. Tom Cruise is a notable proponent of which modern religious movement, the church of which was founded by L. Ron Hubbard in 1952? Hopefully a nice easy one to get you started there. Question number 2. What were the 2 sister ships of the RMS Titanic? Question number 3. The 5 largest of which type of event occurred in reverse order in Chile, Alaska, Indonesia, Japan, and eastern Siberia? Question number 4. Which French designer is known for popularising the little black dress in the early 20th century? Number 5. The followers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are more commonly known by what name? And finally, which 1954 novel by William Golding focuses on a group of British schoolchildren attempting to govern themselves after they find themselves stranded on a tropical island? Okay, so have you got your answers down? Let's have a look, shall we? Number 1, Tom Cruise is a member of the Church of Scientology. Okay. Number 2, the Titanic sister ships were the Olympic and the Britannic. Okay, so the Olympic and the Britannic. 1 point for each of those that you got. Number 3, those events were earthquakes in those locations. Number 4, the little black dress was popularised by Coco Chanel. And number 5, the followers of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are known as Mormons. And the 1954 novel was Lord of the Flies. Okay, so how do you do? Let's move on. Keep a note of your scores as we go. So round number 2 is geography. Okay, geography. So question number 1, from the years 330 to 1923, which city served as the capital of 4 different empires? Okay, so from 330 to 1923, which city served as the capital of 4 different empires? Generally, I believe it's known as capital of 3 different empires, but there was actually a 4th one briefly, which we'll go through in the answers if you want. Okay, question number 2. Which lake, the world's 9th largest, borders on 3 countries but only has 1 outflow, the River Nile? Okay, so facts there, maybe on their own, not necessarily the most helpful, but together should identify the lake for you. So, which lake, the world's 9th largest, borders on 3 countries but only has 1 outflow, the River Nile? Question number 3. With a land area of just over 2,000 square miles, Princess Edward Island is the smallest province of which Commonwealth country? And that's not a typo, that is Princess Edward Island. Okay, so with a land area of just over 2,000 square miles, Princess Edward Island is the smallest province of which Commonwealth country? Question number 4. The Spree River flows through which major European city? Okay, the Spree River flows through which major European city? Question number 5. To what name was the former South Vietnamese capital of Saigon changed in 1976, following the country's unification? Having been there, a lot of people do still just call it Saigon, but to what name was the former South Vietnamese capital of Saigon changed in 1976, following the country's unification? And question number 6. Along with Denmark itself, what are the other 2 constituent nations that make up the Kingdom of Denmark? Okay, so the Kingdom of Denmark is not just Denmark itself, there's 2 other nations involved. What are they? 1 point for each. Okay, so quick recap, here we go. From 330 to 1923, which city served as the capital of 4 different empires? Which lake, the world's 9th largest, borders on 3 countries but only has 1 outflow, the River Nile? Question number 3. With a land area of just over 2,000 square miles, Princess Edward Island is the smallest province of which Commonwealth country? Number 4. The Spree River flows through which major European capital city? Question number 5. To what name was the former South Vietnamese capital of Saigon changed in 1976 following the country's unification? And finally, along with Denmark itself, what are the other 2 constituent nations that make up the Kingdom of Denmark? Okay, so I hope you've got your answers down. Let's have a little look, shall we? So, number 1, that city that we're looking at is Constantinople. I will also accept Istanbul though, but when it was actually the capital, it was Constantinople. So, the empires were the Roman Empire from 330 to 395, the Byzantine Empire from 395 to 1204, and also 1261 to 1453. In the gap there between 1204 and 1261, it was the breakaway Latin Empire. Okay, so that's the sort of smaller one that kind of gets forgotten. And then you had the Ottoman Empire from 1453 to 1923, after which Constantinople fell and the capital was then moved to Ankara. Okay, there's your history lesson there. Number 2, that lake is Lake Victoria. Okay. Number 3, Princess Edward Island is the smallest province of Canada. Number 4, the Spree River runs through Berlin. Number 5, Saigon changed its name to Ho Chi Minh City. And the 2 other constituent places in the Kingdom of Denmark are Greenland and the Faroe Islands. Okay, so 7 possible points there. How'd you do? Okay, on to the next round then. Here we go. Round 3. This is Onion or Not. Okay, so The Onion is a satirical web-based news magazine. Okay, so they produce satirical news articles. What we're doing in this round is we will give you 6 news headlines, and I want you to tell me if it was an article from The Onion that is meant to be satire, or if it is a real headline that has appeared out on the news. Because sometimes these days it can be pretty hard to tell. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. So, number 1, the headline, parishioners asked to attend church unarmed. Is this a real headline? Or, I'd say not The Onion, as I've been marking them. Or is it from the satirical website The Onion? So, parishioners asked to attend church unarmed. Onion or not onion? Okay, question number 2. The headline was, ice cream store mascot mistaken for KKK member. Obviously, in this case, the KKK are the Ku Klux Klan. Not very nice people. Okay, so ice cream store mascot mistaken for KKK member. Is that onion or not onion? Number 3. Headline is, Grandma shuts down entire country's internet. Okay, Grandma shuts down entire country's internet. Is this onion or is it not onion? Okay. Question number 4. The headline is, Chinese TV show cancelled after drawing only 180 million viewers. Okay, Chinese TV show cancelled after drawing only 180 million viewers. Is that onion or is it not onion? Question number 5. Study finds young people remain apathetic about office politics. A study finds young people remain apathetic about office politics. Onion or not onion? Okay, and question number 6. Canada's election proves surprisingly interesting. Okay, Canada's election proves surprisingly interesting. Was that from The Onion or has that appeared in the real world? So onion or not onion? I'll be glad after this round to be able to stop saying the word onion, I think. Okay, so recap here. Number 1, parishioners asked to attend church unarmed. Number 2, ice cream store mascot mistaken for KKK member. Number 3, grandma shuts down entire country's internet. Number 4, Chinese TV show cancelled after drawing only 180 million viewers. Number 5, study finds young people remain apathetic about office politics. And number 6, Canada's election proves surprisingly interesting. Okay, hope you got all your answers down. Let's see what they were. So, number 1, that was not The Onion. That was on MSNBC. That was about churchgoers being asked to attend unarmed. Okay. Number 2, just get a recap here of what these were. This was the ice cream store mascot mistaken for a KKK member. That was real as well. That was from the Huffington Post. Number 3, grandma shuts down entire country's internet was again not The Onion. That was from Fox News. Okay, I actually remember that one. That was an Albanian grandmother, I think it was, who accidentally cut through the main cable line with a shovel while she was out with a metal detector. Number 4, the Chinese TV show cancelled after drawing only 180 million viewers. That is The Onion. Number 5, study finds young people remain apathetic about office politics is The Onion. I would assume most people are apathetic about office politics. And finally, Canada's election proved surprisingly interesting was real. That was from the LA Times. Okay, so enough of saying the word onion. Let's move on. So round number 4, this is the picture round. Okay, so what you will see here are 6 iconic movie posters that have had their names removed from them. All I want is the name of the movie. Now, if you're watching on a mobile, these may be a little small, unfortunately, but if you're able to watch on a full screen, it's absolutely fine. Okay, here we go. So, number 1, what movie is this from? Okay, number 2. Number 3. And number 4. Number 5. And number 6. Okay, so we'll go over those again. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, and number 6. Okay, so hope you've managed to get your answers down. Let's go through the answers, shall we? So, number 1, that was The Exorcist. Okay, so a nice happy family movie, as was number 2, which was Platoon. Okay, Oliver Stone's Vietnam War movie. Number 3 was The Rocketeer from 1991. Number 4 was Vertigo. Okay. Number 5 was Lord of War. And number 6 was Chinatown. As in, forget it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Okay, so moving on. Here we go, round number 5. This one is Science and Nature. Okay, Science and Nature. So, question number 1. Which metal, atomic number 80, is also referred to as quicksilver or hydrargyrum? Apologies for the pronunciation there if it's wrong. Okay, so which metal, atomic number 80, is also referred to as quicksilver or hydrargyrum? Number 2, Ursus arctos is the scientific name for which bear species? Okay, Ursus arctos is the scientific name for which bear species? Number 3, which creature native to a few islands in eastern Indonesia is the largest living reptile, reaching up to 3 meters in length and up to 70 kilograms in weight? Okay, so again, which creature native to a few islands in eastern Indonesia is the largest living reptile, reaching up to 3 meters in length and up to 70 kilograms in weight? Number 4, though Thomas Edison invented direct current, which inventor's alternating current became the primary electrical delivery method to businesses and premises? Okay, so we're looking for the name of the inventor of alternating current there. So again, though Thomas Edison invented direct current, which inventor's alternating current became the primary electrical delivery method to businesses and premises, and still is to this day. Okay, question number 5. The leatherback is the largest species of which major reptile order? Okay, so the leatherback is the largest species of which major reptile order? And question number 6, what is the medical name for the bone commonly known as the shoulder blade? Okay, so what is the medical name for the bone commonly known as the shoulder blade? Okay, quick recap again. Number 1, which metal, atomic number 80, is also referred to quicksilver or hydrogyrum? Number 2, Ursus arctos is the scientific name for which bear species? Number 3, which creature native to a few islands in eastern Indonesia is the largest living reptile, reaching up to 3 meters in length and up to 70 kilograms in weight? And 4, though Thomas Edison invented direct current, which inventor's alternating current became the primary electrical delivery method to businesses and premises? Question 5, the leatherback is the largest species of which major reptile order? And finally, what is the medical name for the bone commonly known as the shoulder blade? Okay, hope you've got your answers down. Let's have a little look, shall we? Here we go. Number 1, quicksilver or hydrogyrum is mercury. Number 2, the bear that we're looking for is the brown or grizzly bear. Okay, brown or grizzly. If you live in the US, they call it a grizzly. Just in case anyone was wondering, as I originally thought it was as well, it is not the polar bear. The polar bear is Ursus maritimus. Number 3 is the Komodo dragon. Okay. Number 4 is Nikola Tesla, who was the inventor of alternating current. Number 5, the leatherback, is the largest of the turtles. And number 6, the shoulder blade is actually known as the scapula. Okay, the scapula. Okay, so let's get on. Round number 6, movies and TV. Okay, so I assume you've all been watching a lot of this during lockdown or self-isolation. So you should do very well in this round. Okay, here we go. So, question number 1. After the death of Robin Williams in 2014, a Boston bench became an impromptu memorial site for the actor. What was the film that the original scene involving the bench was used in? Okay, so after the death of Robin Williams in 2014, a Boston bench became an impromptu memorial site for the actor. What was the film that the original scene involving the bench was used in? Question number 2. For which 2 films did Robert De Niro win Oscars, and which Oscars did he win? Okay, so there's 4 possible points here, 2 movies and then 2 Oscars. So again, for which 2 films did Robert De Niro win Oscars, and which Oscars did he win? Question number 3. Which fictional character created by Tom Clancy has been played on screen by Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine, and most recently, John Krasinski? So this one covers both film and TV. So, again, which fictional character created by Tom Clancy has been played on screen by Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine, and most recently, John Krasinski? Question number 4. Which musician had roles as historical figures Pontius Pilate in Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, and Nikola Tesla in Christopher Nolan's 2006 thriller The Prestige? There's Nikola Tesla turning up again. Okay, so again, which musician had roles as historical figures Pontius Pilate in Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, and Nikola Tesla in Christopher Nolan's 2006 thriller The Prestige? Question number 5, here we go. Along with Bret McKenzie, which musician forms the other half of comedic duo Flight of the Conchords? Okay, so along with Bret McKenzie, which musician forms the other half of the comedic duo Flight of the Conchords? And question number 6. Which actor played butler Alfred Pennyworth in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series of Batman movies? Okay, so which actor played butler Alfred Pennyworth in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series of Batman movies? Okay, quick recap. So, number 1, after the death of Robin Williams in 2014, a Boston bench became an impromptu memorial site for the actor. What was the film that the original scene involving the bench was used in? Okay, number 2, for which 2 films did Robert De Niro win Oscars, and which Oscars did he win? Okay, so again 4 points available on that one. Number 3, which fictional character created by Tom Clancy has been played on screen by Alec Baldwin, Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine, and most recently John Krasinski? Question number 4, which musician had roles as historical figures Pontius Pilate in Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, and Nikola Tesla in Christopher Nolan's 2006 thriller The Prestige? Question number 5. Along with Bret McKenzie, which musician forms the other half of the comedic duo Flight of the Conchords? And finally, which actor played butler Alfred Pennyworth in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series of Batman movies? Okay, so let's have a look at the answers then, shall we? Let's go. Number 1. This was Good Will Hunting was the movie that bench appeared in. Okay, number 2, the first one was Raging Bull, for which he won Best Actor. And then The Godfather Part 2, for which he won Best Supporting Actor. Okay, so number 3 is Jack Ryan, who's been played by all those actors. Number 4 is David Bowie, played Pontius Pilate and Nikola Tesla. Number 5, Jermaine Clement is the other member of Flight of the Conchords. And number 6, Michael Caine played Alfred Pennyworth, the butler. Okay, move on. Round number 7. Okay, so this one is Answer Smash again. So, as I introduced this round last week, if you're not familiar with Answer Smash, I'll go through an example of it in a moment. But essentially, you'll be given 2 clues, and you need to smash the answers together to form a single answer. Okay, so the end of the first answer will match up with the beginning of the second. So hopefully you'll see it in the example here. So number 1, this is the example, sorry. So in the picture we have Joe Biden, and then we add on the actor who starred in Man on Fire and Training Day, which was Denzel Washington. So the answer that we look for is Joe by Denzel Washington. Okay, so the end of Biden and the beginning of Denzel is both the end, so Joe by Denzel Washington. Hope that's clear. So, moving on to the actual questions. Number 1, who's this in the picture? Obviously a musician there holding his guitar. And the second part is the hit song by Wheatus from the year 2000, whose video starred Jason Biggs. Okay, so the person in the picture and the hit song by Wheatus from the year 2000, whose video starred Jason Biggs. Okay, number 2. So, the picture's the second part on this one. So, famous white marble mausoleum found in Agra, India, and then the person in the picture. Okay, so again, famous white marble mausoleum found in Agra, India, and then the person in the picture. Number 3, so who's this in the picture? And then found on the border of Bolivia, this is the largest lake in South America by volume and area, and is also the highest navigable lake in the world. Okay, so again, in the picture, who's in the picture? And found on the border of Bolivia, this is the largest lake in South America by volume and area, and also the highest navigable lake in the world. Number 4, who's this? And then in the second part is a research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. Okay, so who's that in the picture? And then add on a research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. Number 5, who's this? Hopefully an easy one, this one, I think. Who's this? And then actor who played Marty McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy. Okay, so who's this in the picture? And then actor who played Marty McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy. And question number 6. This is a where is this? And so what is this place? And a business and employment-oriented social networking service that launched in 2002. Okay, so where is this? Or what is this place? What is the building? And it's a business and employment-oriented social networking service that launched in 2002. Okay, quick recap. Number 1, who's this? Along with the hit song by Wheatus from the year 2000, whose video starred Jason Biggs. Number 2, famous white marble mausoleum found in Agra, India, and the person in the picture. Number 3, who is this? And found on the border of Bolivia, this is the largest lake in South America by volume and area. It's also the highest navigable lake in the world. Number 4, who's this? And a research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. Number 5, who's this in the picture? And then actor who played Marty McFly in the Back to the Future trilogy. And lastly, where is this? In a business and employment-oriented social networking service that launched in 2002. Okay, so we'll go over the answers in just a second. Now, when it comes to the marking of this round, I'm usually quite strict on these ones. To get the full point, you need to get both answers but mashed together in the form that we have them in the answers here. If you get both of the answers right, but you haven't mashed them together, I'm going to be nice in this one and say take a half point. If you only got one of them right, that's not enough. So you only get a half point if you got both of them but didn't mash them together. To get the full point, mash them together. That's why it's answer smash. Okay, so number 1, Bruce Springsteen age dirtbag. So we have Bruce Springsteen and teenage dirtbag. So Bruce Springsteen age dirtbag. Number 2 was the Taj Mahal and Halle Berry. So the answer we're looking for is Taj Mahal Berry. Number 3 was Justin Timberlake Titicaca. Okay, so Justin Timberlake and Lake Titicaca. Never not laugh at that name. Okay, number 4, Gary Old Manhattan Project. So Gary Oldman, the Manhattan Project. Gary Old Manhattan Project. Number 5, George Michael and Michael J. Fox becomes George Michael J. Fox. And finally, the last one's Kremlinked-In. So we had the Kremlin, and we had LinkedIn. So Kremlinked-In. Okay, so hope you got all of those. Okay, so we're getting there. Only a few rounds left to go. Next up is round number 8, which is sport. Okay, sport. Here we go. So, number 1. Who is the only man from either Europe or the United States to win 2 major golf championships but not be selected for the Ryder Cup since that event began in 1927? I feel a little bit aggrieved about this myself, but yeah, I'm not a golfer. Who is the only man from either Europe or the United States to win 2 major golf championships but not be selected for the Ryder Cup since that event began in 1927? Okay, question number 2. What sporting item, traditionally made of cork, leather and feathers, is also sometimes referred to as a bird or birdie? Okay, so sporting item traditionally made of cork, leather and feathers is also sometimes referred to as a bird or birdie. Question number 3. Which German is the only tennis player, either male or female, I should probably have worded that slightly differently, either male or female, to have completed the Golden Slam, having won all 4 Open titles and the Olympic gold in 1988? Okay, so again, which German is the only tennis player, were this either male or female, to have completed the Golden Slam, having won all 4 won all 4 Open titles and the Olympic gold in 1988? Okay, question number 4. What beverage is traditionally drunk by the winner of the Indianapolis 500 car race? Is it milk, champagne, water, absinthe, or Dr. Pepper? I wouldn't advise mixing all of those, by the way. So again, what beverage is traditionally drunk by the winner of the Indianapolis 500 car race, also, commonly known as the Indy 500, if you will? Milk, champagne, water, absinthe, or Dr. Pepper? Question number 5. Which native Iroquois ball sport derives its modern name from the French for the stick? Okay, so again, which native Iroquois ball sport derives its modern name from the French for the stick? And lastly, question number 6. Which English footballer is the only man to have scored a hat-trick in a FIFA World Cup final? Okay, so English footballer is the only man to have scored a hat-trick in a FIFA World Cup final. Who is he? Okay, quick recap. Number 1. Who is the only man from either Europe or the United States to win 2 major golf championships but not be selected for the Ryder Cup since the event began in 1927? Number 2. What sporting item traditionally made of cork, leather and feathers is also referred to as a birdie or bird sometimes? Number 3. Which German is the only tennis player, either male or female, to have completed the Golden Slam, having won all 4 Open titles and the Olympic gold in 1988? Number 4. What beverage is traditionally drunk by the winner of the Indy 500 or the Indianapolis 500 car race? Is it milk, champagne, water, absinthe, or Dr. Pepper? Okay, question number 5. Which native Iroquois ball sport derives its modern name from the French for the stick? And finally, which English footballer is the only man to have scored a hat-trick in a FIFA World Cup final? Okay, have you got all your answers down? Let's see what they were. So number 1, the golfer not to be selected for the Ryder Cup was John Daly. Okay, number 2, the bird or birdie is more commonly known as the shuttlecock, used in badminton. The German who won the Golden Slam was Steffi Graf. Number 4, the winner of the Indy 500 drinks milk traditionally. Number 5, the Iroquois game, named after the stick, is lacrosse. And the only person to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final is Jeff Hurst from the 1966 final. Okay, so moving on to the last couple of rounds now. As usual, they are always music trivia, then music intros. So, music trivia first, here we go. In 2019, the BMI, or the Broadcast Music Inc., named which song by the Police as the most played song in the history of radio? Hopefully a nice easy one there. Okay, so again in 2019, the BMI named which song by the Police as the most played song in the history of radio? Okay, number 2. Did Roxy Music's cover of John Lennon's Jealous Guy reach number 1 in the charts before or after John's death? Okay, so did Roxy Music's cover of John Lennon's Jealous Guy reach number 1 in the charts before or after John's death? Okay, question number 3. Oh, question number 3 there, went a bit too far. Definitely Maybe was the debut album from which Britpop band of the 1990s and early 2000s? Brilliant album. One of my favourite bands, this. So again, Definitely Maybe was the debut album from which Britpop band in the 1990s and early 2000s? Okay, question number 4. Which British band was formed by members of Joy Division following the suicide of their lead singer Ian Curtis in 1980? Okay, so which British band was formed by former members of Joy Division following the suicide of their lead singer Ian Curtis in 1980? Question number 5. Who were the famous backing singers on most of Elvis Presley's early hits? Okay, so who were the backing singers on Elvis's early hits? And finally, question number 6. Who sang with Serge Gainsbourg on the hit Je T'aime? If you know the song, you know, did a little bit more than sing. Okay, so who sang with Serge Gainsbourg on the hit Je T'aime? Okay, so quick recap again. Here we go. So, in 2019, the BMI named which song by the Police as the most played song in the history of radio? Question number 2. Did Roxy Music's cover of John Lennon's Jealous Guy reach number 1 in the charts before or after John's death? 3. Definitely Maybe was the debut album of which Britpop band from the 1990s and early 2000s? Question number 4. Which British band was formed by members of Joy Division following the suicide of their lead singer Ian Curtis in 1980? Number 5. Who were the famous backing singers on most of Elvis Presley's early hits? Okay, and finally, who sang with Serge Gainsbourg on the hit Je T'aime? Okay, let's go on with the answers then. Let's have a little look. So, number 1, the most played song in the history of radio by the Police was Every Breath You Take. Number 2, Roxy Music got to number 1 in the charts with Jealous Guy 3 months after the death of John Lennon. Number 3, Definitely Maybe, was the debut album from Oasis. Number 4, New Order was the band formed from the remaining members of Joy Division. Number 5, the Jordanaires were Elvis Presley's backing singers. And finally, Jane Birkin was the singer on Je T'aime with Serge Gainsbourg. Okay, so nearly there. So we're on to round number 10. This is the music intros. So, as with previous quizzes, this will be 6 questions as normal, but each one has 2 songs that have been chopped up into small parts and mixed together. As well as being confusing, it helps get around copyright notices on YouTube. So, what we want for each of these is the name of the song, or name of each of the songs in each clip. So, not worried about the artist, just the song name. You'll get 1 point for each song that you get right, so there's a possible 12 points available in the round. Okay, it will play through all the way once, and then you'll get about 30-second gap, and then it will play through again, just to give you a bit of help with it. Okay, so let's just drop the background music down, and let's get going, shall we? If it wants to play.
But there's a side. You all the things you say they without falling to your feet. To you that I never knew, never.
Dead oceans. Oh, the storm, I know. In the mouth of a graveyard. Someone told me long ago. I've been out in front of a dozen. It's been coming. I've been 10,000 miles away. There's a calm before. Falling on my head like a memory. Falling on my head like a new emotion. And I'm happy again. What a glorious fear. It's so dark up above. I'm laughing at clouds. Some of them fell into heavy love, and where have you gone? We saw them as they fell. Strangest feeling. You
show me a real.
Okay, so just give you a brief break here. All my
But there's a side.
There's a theme.
You all the things you say they without falling to your feet. To you that I never knew, never.
dead oceans. graveyard. Someone told me long ago I've been out in front of a dozen. It's been coming. I've been 10,000 miles. There's a calm before. Falling on my head like a memory. Falling on my head like a new emotion. And I'm happy again. What a glorious feeling. So dark up above. I'm laughing at clouds. Some of them fell into heavy love, and we saw them as they fell. Strangest feeling. Show me a real.
Okay, so that is the end of the music round. So we'll go on to the answers in just a second. Before I do that though, I'll just quickly go over again. Up at the top left, there's a URL, kidsneededucation.org. If you've enjoyed the quiz and feel that you maybe want to make a donation to a charity, you can do so there. To the Alcal Foundation to help the only free primary school here in Phnom Penh. We've also got onestoptrivia.com if you want to find any of our old quizzes. There's lots of them there. Also, we're on Facebook at facebook.com/onestoptrivia, and we're on YouTube as well. So just give us a search for One Stop Trivia. If you enjoyed the quiz as well, please give the video a like, give us a share, give us a comment. Give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel. All goes a long way. Once we've finished here as well, give us a comment with the score that you got in the quiz. Okay, so on to the answers then. So here we go. Number 1, the songs that we had were Set Fire to the Rain, which was by Adele, and November Rain by Guns N' Roses. So you're maybe going to see the theme here that I tried to tell you about halfway through the quiz and mistimed it slightly. Apologies for that. Number 2 was A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall by Bob Dylan and Who'll Stop the Rain, which was by Creedence Clearwater Revival. So again, just to confirm, we only need the name of the song here for the point. Number 3, Here Comes the Rain Again, which was by Eurythmics, and I'm Only Happy When It Rains, which was by Garbage. Number 4 was Purple Rain by Prince, and Singing in the Rain by Gene Kelly. Number 5 was Rainy Night in Soho by the Pogues, and Why Does It Always Rain on Me by Travis. And lastly, it's Raining Men by the Weather Girls, and Rain on Me by Lady Gaga featuring Ariana Grande. Okay, so that's 1 point available for each of those. Tally up your scores and check it. Tally up your score for the entire quiz. Let us know in the comments section down below. I'm always interested to see how people do. Okay, so that is the end of the quiz. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed putting it together twice. Hopefully this one works properly. So, that's the end of the quiz. So thank you very much for taking part. As I said before, please like, share, follow, or subscribe on social media and YouTube and any other places that you can for more regularly updated trivia content. And until the next quiz, thank you very much and goodbye.